Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope May is turning out nice for you. Um, ah, Everybody's ready for May the 4th or Free Comic Book Day on Saturday. I know I kind of like both those things. Let's see. There's our bounding box. That look about right. All right, so today I was thinking Mountain Stronghold, just because I don't know. I want to do something a bit more epic than the farmhouse from yesterday. I was also thinking I might try working it a slightly different way. I was watching Finney and McManus do this yesterday. That was cool, but sort of a sketch first versus just jumping into drawing. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, I think I see how this is going to work. So what we're going to try and do is some kind of a castle type thing, or a fortress on a mountain. So the first thing, actually I think I'm going to turn off the line constraint for right now. Let's kind of draw us a mountain. So, thinking... kind of want to lay out so we get big shapes the way we want it to be. This is kind of how I would draw it, just not obviously with the full wireframe. But like when I draw mountains, I kind of do it something like that. And then cliff face kind of there, and so you can kind of see how the faces are going. So it's kind of a really steep, piss off kind of a mountain. Shrink her down a little bit so we can play it a bit more, and then I want to shrink it on that. Why don't you want? Whoa! Why don't you want to shrink anymore now? We are also not level, right? Okay, that's not good. Let's go to the move tool. Make it freaking huge. Oh wait, let's do it with inner radius set to full. Ugh. Shrink. Maybe I'll just rebuild it. It's actually not a kind of... Maybe I'll start with that. It's kind of not bad. So if that's vertical, roughly, yeah, it's roughly vertical. Then we're gonna have some like overhang cliffs, which is kind of a cool idea. And something it's a lot harder to do in 2D, so I don't tend to bother with it all that much. But yeah, there's no reason not to. So we kind of got some interesting overhangs. I feel like that for a mountain. It's kind of cool. Let's turn it around. Rotate. That's really kind of flat still. Why don't we... Let's move tool. And bring... Yes, no. This time I do want inner radius. So I get more of that nice bend. Okay. Give me that button. Back to clay. Complete out our wireframe. So now, kind of goes like that. I just want to get like the main shapes for how this thing looks. So it's kind of a leaning sort of mountain, but I kind of dig it. It's like get this sort of ominous overhang thing here. Yeah, right? So that seems kind of cool. And then I'm guessing that there's would be like hills sort of there. Right. Okay. And then there. So now I'm going to try something I haven't tried before, which is kind of the whole point to all of these, really, in case you hadn't gathered. It's just like you're going to play along with me while I do stuff. Oh, we got rocks. Ooh, we got like man-made rocks. Ooh, I didn't even know I had those. Pillars! Oh, sweet. Okay, but let's grab that flat one. See all this stuff you find. It's just cool. I'm so impressed with this tool. I just can't say it enough how cool I think it is. Let's try increasing the res. No, this is too big for increasing the res because we're on a giant mountain. So let's fill in some of this space. So now that I know how I want it to be, so yesterday when I made these things, I kind of went and just filled the whole thing in. And this time I'm doing it more Hollywood set style, right? So we have a wireframe and skinning it versus solid all the way through. I'm not going to make this mountain fill. Let's rotate it up a little bit. And then the heck? Boy. It's like we're spraying, I don't know, maybe making paper mache over a coat hanger thing in middle school. Did you guys do that? I used to make so many paper mache landscapes, and then I would set up my like G.I. Joe figures, or when I was younger than that, like my Smurfs. You know, I'm gonna betray how old I am here now. And just make these dioramas out of it. But it all started with these like coat hanger paper mache landscapes, and this is, kind of feels really similar to that. I think I may be blowing up my memory. I think I'm making this a little too big. Let's see if I can decrease res. I think, oh yeah, that's immediate. Yeah, this is big. I really don't need this to be very detailed at this stage. So either it's just gonna blow up or I just did something cool. Let's see. I've got my walking things. They're smiling. Ooh. Back. Okay, cool. Let's see if that helped. Because I really don't need this to be high res. Yeah. I'm trying to turn my brush around a little bit just so I get different rocks. It's not going to look realistic, but really, you know, the Lonely Mountain doesn't look that realistic either. I'm gonna go. Oh, I can go big now that I'm smaller. Maybe not that big. I like it more, and it's more controllable like this. Okay. Okay. Let's increase it. I probably should have put that sketch thing on its own layer. Oh well. Live and learn. And then we got the backside here, which, since I'm not really sure yet which side I'm going to build the fortress thing so we can see it from an illustration perspective, let's just fill it in. Okay. It doesn't really look very mountainous yet. It's all these overlap things. But I'm going to try a combination of a couple things. First off, alright, I think we're going to use this side as our side to build from. So let's establish that's going to be where it's going to start from. Now let's smooth down a lot of this, because we want the micro detail to be way more from the man-made stuff than the rocks. The rocks really shouldn't be more interesting than our castle if we're doing our job right. And let's see. So we'll just do the same thing on all sides. Because, again, like the advantage of doing this in VR, maybe this isn't going to be an illustration. This could be just a base level that I could give to a level artist later in a video game, and they might need to go all the way around it, or at least sort of have some rough idea. But I think we're going to spend most of our effort on the other side. And there's this weird, like, dragon scale thing, which mental note to remember in case I need to do dragon scales later, which probably seems likely to me. Okay. And then all the way back around to our side here. So this is our side that we're going to play with. Now, maybe I want to try a few different rocks to kind of change up my shapes a little bit, just so they're not all that same one flat thing. Okay, so we have a mountain now. And we're vertical, right? Yes. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I think, is make a new layer. I think now is the time to make a new layer. And increase the res of that twice. Okay, now let's sketch in kind of where we think it might wind up going. So let's change the color again, so I can see what a sketch line looks like, and just go back to our square brush. And this time I think I do want to turn on line constraints. I'm going to attempt to make some vertical stuff. So let's kind of go, am I in brush? Hello? Am I turned on? Invisible? Yeah. Okay. Okay, what's going on here? Let's turn offline constraint and kill my taper just to see. I'm outside my space. Oh, right. Okay. There's my that square box is your drawing space. Let's see, go to layer 1 and center. And can we shrink it down a bit? I don't need it to be that big anyway. Let's shrink it down. So now we're back inside of our space. And the cool thing about VR is that I don't have to so much stress about. There we go. Okay. So now can we draw again? Let's try. I think that should do it. Still no draw. Oh, I'm still inside my space. Okay. Oh, when I shrunk it, I moved it off again. Center again. Center. And now I'm inside my space. Now I can draw. Yes. Okay. So let's get big inside, but we're still inside that square. You got to be inside that square, or you cannot work. This is kind of the stuff I wanted to play with, because I haven't really done anything like monstrously huge yet, and I really wanted to. So this sucker is going to be big. Now let's turn on line constraint. So line constraint just lets you draw vertically or in a line. So there's our entrance to our great Dwarven Hall, which is already pretty big. So we need to make some smaller shapes so we know that's a tower and it's giant. It's not tiny. And the way you do that is with bigger and smaller shapes, like I said. So if you have that, now you know that that's like a tower thing. So it's already starting to feel more like scaled. I kind of want to make some like little towers here. Actually not going to be a huge mountain. It's like I may have kind of making it too big, but I kind of am digging it. Yeah, that's too big. I don't like that there. Need to go in closer and even smaller. Okay, and probably too small. I probably need to up-res. But since this is only a sketch, we'll call it as okay for right now. Let's go a bit bigger, just to... then I want some, like, not that far out. Towers to come out a little bit. So it's that kind of like mountain citadel thing shape that, you know, we've all seen. Like, whoever built this found a big rock, and then they just made shape into it. Okay, no, I don't like that at all. Let's shrink it down a little bit. Not that much. Trying to figure out what my big and small shapes are for this thing, and I actually like that better. That's cooler. Like going in like that. So let's do that. Am I on? What layer am I on? I'm on layer 1. Ugh. All right. Well, there you go. That's one of the reasons why it's not working right. But it's too late now. Okay. Well, we'll have to fix it. But for the future, let's go to layer 2. Keep working here. Same problems as Photoshop, right? You're like, I've been working for 2 hours on the wrong freaking layer. Am I outside the box again? I'm outside the box again because I rested. That's bizarre. Center. Get into my box. Man, a pain today. Okay, I'm inside. And I can draw. Oh, can I bring... Oh, each layer has its own box? Can I do it this way? That's neat. I didn't know that. Okay, now... Okay. Yeah, cool. Neat. All right, sweet. Kind of a shape thing. I mean, that's already going to be there, but all right. And then another tower over here. Finian had a good way of talking about this yesterday on his Medium YouTube channel thing. It's like, think of this as kind of like the old school ArtStation way of drawing with markers and pens. Like you start off with your pen drawing, and then you're just going to kind of fill it in with your marker sketch afterward, and it gives you a neat kind of way of doing it. No, not there. Or did I move it? Oh, that's what happened. Moved it off my... I just scratched my back and I moved it off. Okay. The shape kind of there. Okay. All right. Well, let's call that sort of a starting point for this thing now. I'm going to add more to it, I'm sure. But just kind of, mostly this is for working out stuff, so it's not that big a deal. So let's go to new layer. Increase the res. Okay. Where's its box? To there. Okay. All right. So now, let's go find ourselves a wall. I wonder if I should just use these pillars as walls. They might be higher res than I need, but I kind of like that. Let's try it and see. Okay, and I want it to be, let's turn it so it's going to be like that. So, okay. So the best way to do with that. Steady stroke a little up. Okay, and I'm kind of liking a steady stroke. Well, that's actually not bad, but I feel like this geometry might be a little too heavy. So let's see what happens if we just make it with a square. I don't need it to be anything more than that, so let's just do that. And then reattach it to the edge. Yeah, it's better. And then, okay. Looks a little funny red, I admit it. Not sure how I feel about that yet. But obviously, once I take it into key shot, that's not going to happen anyway. But it does look a little weird for this one, and it might be messing with me a bit. It's possible. Okay, and make it bigger again. Now let's just fill that in. Okay. Obviously these edges are looking rough right now. Bear with me. Big shapes first, then we fix the small shapes. I've never really used this line constraint before, but it looks cool, and I wanted to try it out. And it is kind of neat. I think as I get more used to it, I'll like it more. Okay. Yeah, alright. Yeah, so we're starting to feel like that's a building. Okay. I'm gonna even just kind of nuke that. Let's make it go across, but it's better. Okay, so there's the start of our tower. Now let's come over here, and it's almost just a stamp. It's like a cube. Shrink down a little bit. There. Just kind of want that sense of like an architecture coming out of the side of the building. Or the mountain. I'm not really too worried about what it is. I just want shapes. And the advantage to this kind of fantasy architecture, as opposed to sci-fi stuff, is you can play a little bit more fast and loose with things like angles and construction. With science fiction, you want to really be sure that things kind of feel like they were planned. But something like this, you can be a little bit less precise with. It's kind of feel. As long as it feels sort of deliberate, there's kind of a craftsy section to it, right? It's like, woo, this was hand-built. Not that hand-built, though. I want it to be still kind of... Okay. And... no. Bigger. So there's the start of our mountain fortress. Okay. We've got a mix of large, medium, and small shapes. I think I want a few more small shapes. I think I'm going to turn off constraints and just draw from freehand for a minute, just to kind of be a little bit, in some ways, more precise with individual strokes. I want some like towers just coming out of the top of this thing. It's like, hi, we're dwarves and we build towers on things. We don't know why, but we do. And probably want some kind of a something on the top too. Even if it now kind of looks like a chimney, we may or may not keep it. But okay, so there's like, yeah. I mean, honestly, you could take this and really quickly in Photoshop paint it up to look cool, and you'd have all your major structures and things in place. We're going to do a little more than that, just because, you know, why not? Let's go back to our column. Let's try this one. And we're going to kind of go there. There. Now we have an entrance door. Maybe I will turn back on line constraint. And like that. Okay. Wow, see, that helps a lot for me just in set and scale. Now I feel like I've got a doorway and it's read and write. I like that. That's cool. Woohoo! My girlfriend is in the other room laughing at my noises. Feel free. I admit that my noises are funny. But knowing that these kind of make good little micro towers, rather than using the cube, let's go back and just kind of do a little bit of micro tower making with it. What my dear friend Bob Ross would have called a happy accident. Yes, as Maria said, I'm supposed to put a bird on it now. No. No. Yes. Okay. Alrighty then. And now, what do we want to do? It's coming way close. So I wish you guys could see how like epically cool it is to be this close. It just does not come across when you're building it from scratch. I mean, you're all looking at the screen, but let's go to new layer and increase the res 3 times. Because now we really want to start thinking about some of our, like, what the heck does this look like detail. And I'm going to turn off line again. And this organic kind of construction, it's kind of okay. And I bet you I'm outside of my zone again. Yep, there's my zone. Come here. I'm going to shrink the whole thing down. I can't actually because I'm on. Alright. Let's go to layer. Shrink the whole thing down. Back in. Bring this over here more. Oh, see, I'm learning all kinds of stuff today because I did not know about that. Now let's zoom way in, and now I should be able to draw. Let's see. Yes, and that's way smoother because the res is way higher, which is cool. Again, we're kind of looking for the impression of a tower more than an actual tower right now. But that could be cool. Let's try. That's what I'm seeing about this. When I look at this, the first thing I see is it looks kind of deliberate, for lack of a better word. Those stripes. So let's make it more deliberate. And again, I'm not trying to be accurate. You can see my lines are kind of all over the place. But now we got some stripage. Same thing there. Same thing there. Pillars! Woo! Behold the pillars. Now let's take column thing, make it bigger, and kind of maybe we'll just do that there, that there, do it in here. Okay, then column. I'm just kind of trying to blend the forms a little bit more. May or may not be working. Let's go back to line constraint. I mean, I hope it's working, but yeah, just to give it form, and the difference between just mass and form, right? Like I want it to feel at some level intentional. I don't want it just to be a collection of boxes, which, well, I know that when I was drawing as a kid or whatever, I never really understood. You're like, well, castles are just a collection of boxes, and they are, but they're an intentional collection of boxes. It's the intent that really drives things. Without the intent, it doesn't really work. Yeah, I don't like the tower there. But I kind of do think I want a couple more of those like little towers sticking up. The sense that, like, yes, this entire mountain is just catacombed with crap. And, ooh, I know one good way to do that. One good way to do that will be, let's go to square. Continuous, turn off the line. Shrink it down. See if I can build. Bridges. We have outside bridges to our space. So you got to figure that a person incidentally is probably about that big. That's the size we're thinking of for people. So I need to remember that with my scale so that it reads properly. And we feel like we're in that sort of a space. But always kind of remembering that little dot there is a dude. So if that little dot there is a dude, yeah, we'll put on line constraint. Let's just go. Okay, and then over here, then let's build just a subtle structure. Bigger, just to do it that way. Yeah, there we go. Too big. So now, yeah, see, now it goes across and it feels more intentional. And because we don't want that bridge to seem overly simple, turn off line constraint now. And shrink it down. Go in super close. There we go. Now it feels like a bridge, right? We have those trestles, and you know, we as modern folk consider that bridge-like. Cool. All right, let's do the same with this one here. Let's give it some smaller ones, and then here. Bigger, just a bit more of a shape. Okay. But there is the entrance to our Fortress Citadel. It makes perfect sense that is angled because there's stuff inside, but it doesn't look right to me. It's one of those, like, if I were to think about this from how construction would actually work, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. But let's level it off slightly. So now, yeah, okay, I like that better. And then maybe go back to our pillars and do a couple of those things. Maybe even just, yeah, he's not right, but okay. Yeah, I feel like it integrates it better, doesn't it? At least to me it does. It's the same thing up here. Like support integrations or something, but it's hot in here today. So just some structures. And again, it's like big, medium, and small reads are what I'm trying to think about. And I'm definitely feel like I need to be a lot better about that than I am. Getting better. But it's the kind of thing that, actually, I want to go all the way up and down. It's the kind of thing you just need to do until it becomes second nature. Is, you know, what's the big read? Boom, okay, you have 3 seconds to get the big read across. So we looking down, we look up. Yep, there's a mountain with some buildings sticking out the side of it. There's our big read. Okay, then our second read. How the heck do you get into this thing? You look up. Okay, we need more of an entranceway here. Like, that's the main focal area still for entrance, but we definitely need more still. It doesn't read right yet. But if we do that, I need to increase my ground. Okay, let's go to my ground again. Go to our move tool again. Ooh, I think I grabbed too much. Yes, I did. Okay, shrink it the freak down. Maybe increase the inner radius. Not all the way, but like to 70, so it's mostly going to do what I want. And then kind of pull that out. So, and then let's smooth that down. Okay, now back to a clay tool, and not too worried about it. You see, like I'm just kind of making it. Oh, but I'm on the wrong layer. Not going to do that again, although I guess it doesn't matter since I've kind of screwed the pooch on it a bunch of times already, but too big. Oh. Oh no, this pillar probably needs to be wider. Oh, I'm just sweating. Okay, so let's just use a different brush. Let's use that. That looks cool. The ability to do these is amazing to me. Like this, they asked Finn yesterday like why he liked this tool, and he's totally right. It's these stamps. I hadn't thought about it really before, but it's totally these stamps because it's like Photoshop brushes. It just lets you go instantly and change the profile of what you're working on. And it's so powerful just to be able to be like, yeah, because even like, so what makes 3D code amazing are the alpha maps and being able to stencil stuff. And that's, don't get me wrong, that's super cool. But you're not really painting in 3D code. And here, we're essentially painting in 3D, which is so fucking cool. Pardon my language, but it deserves it. It's just so cool to be able to do that. Now it's starting to feel like an entrance. So now if we made that into a tower, which we can do, we'll go grab that pillar-y thing. That's a different pillar-y thing. But I think it would make an excellent tower. Yes, it will. Woo! Oh, it's even got a little cool tree on it. Put a tree on it. Done, right? So now it's a tower. And then if we shrink it down, and move this to the center. Okay, now it's a tower with the second thing on it. And, ooh, yeah, cool. And then maybe let's just kind of make it have that too. So not only is it just is it a tower, but it's like a structure. It's a full-on structure space. So the concept is go in here, and our people are so small, I guess I could put like a door on it. Let's do that. But I was going to say our people are so small we don't need a huge door. But we can do a less than huge door. Let's turn off continue line. And am I outside my space? Just on the edge. Can I? Am I not cutting? Am I past it? No, it should be alright. Kill line constraint. That might be why. Now let's see. Can I erase? Yes, I can. Cool. Alright. There we go. So let's go to the front so we can tip it. That's also super cool. I must literally be right on the edge of that space there. But, just go to our square. Okay, so there's our entrance. That reads like an entrance. And then you climb up that tower and across the Chasm of Doom. The top, you know, there's our kill zone, and that would give us all kinds of opportunities for messing up some people if they really wanted to come in here. That's still do there. And then my other layer. Did I? Oh, I didn't add enough to it. I see. Let's just do this then. Rather than deleting that, let's add that. And then why is it not letting me erase? Are we getting too small? There we go. There's a door. Again, we're looking huge, so, but it reads like a door. That comes in. That's kind of cool. I'm kind of feeling it. So things I'm noticing. These rocks here are too high fidelity right now. Okay, there we go. So let's. My size. Oh, wrong layer. Layer 1. Did you guys notice when I do that? Like, is it one of those things that I know that when I watch videos all the time, I'll be like, he's on the wrong layer. He's on the wrong layer, and then he's like messing with it and messing with it and messing with it. He can't figure out what's going on, and you're just sort of screaming in your head, "You're on the wrong layer!" So probably you're watching me and thinking the same thing. And if you're not, why not? Get it together, people. You know, pay attention to what I'm doing. No. Okay, yeah, that's better. So again, level of detail. We got more detail on the tower. We don't have enough, but I think this is one of those shapes that I'd kind of want to probably just do in Photoshop, or spend a lot of time modeling buildings. But I can take that and paint on it really fast, like really fast. Got a giant tower there that I like. Got a slightly smaller tower here that's okay. I haven't really given these things a lot of love, but they don't really need a lot of love because there's like secondary details in your build that you just want to be there so it feels right, but it doesn't really need to do anything. And which layer am I on now? Let's go back to that layer. Whoa, undo. And now I'm going to throw in another bridge, I think. And then, yeah, like clearly that's kind of messed up. But, all right, I don't know, maybe. What do we think? Ugh, not that. Let's try maybe just stamping it with that. Oh. So there's some kind of like tower across, like it's, yeah, so literally it's a tower on this bridge. And maybe we'll give these just a little bit more detail, having said that, you know, they don't need it. Just a little bit more love so they feel like they're not afterthoughts. Kind of like that square shape too. That's pretty cool. I don't know why, but I really, it sort of feels intentional. So, cool. Yeah, well there you go. And that's totally hollow on the inside. So if I was feeling really nuts, I could kind of come in here now and be like, what if this entire mountain was hollowed out and we could make like bridges across? And if you ever read Dragonlance, it could be like the Kryn Gnome Mountain where they're making stuff. So there's like little catapults down here that fire up into higher levels and all kinds of crazy ass stuff. But I think for the purposes of this, you know, playing around, we're going to call this one done. Thank you guys for watching. We're up to what? 12 million polys, so yeah, it's a little bit big. I'm going to take this, give it some rough, simple textures in Keyshot as per normal, and post it in the comments. I'm not sure what I'm going to work on tomorrow. Again, if you have any ideas and you want to let me know, that's awesome. I really appreciate watching and the support, and I hope you're getting something out of this. I really am getting a lot out of doing them. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye-bye.